Well, good afternoon. A whole experience of a TV. I'm certainly sure that you are liking what TV47 is presenting to you. And all this courtesy of you. We certainly appreciate that you have watched us grow to this level. Welcome on board. This is TV47 at 1. It's a great pleasure to take you through. My name is Linda Alela. Lots lined up for you. And we start off where President William Ruto is currently hosting members of the Akorino Israel Church. That is for a Thanksgiving service at State House here in Nairobi. Let's cross over to State House and listen in.
Asante sana. Asante sana kwa kura zenu. Asante sana kwa maombi. Asante kwa kuombea taifa letu la Kenya. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie sitawaangusha. Nitafanya bidii na yale yote tulikubaliana na nyinyi kwa mapenzi ya Mungu nitayatimiza. Wacha niseme mambo matano madogo kwa fupi, kwa sababu wakati mlinipatia nafasi ya kuongoza taifa letu la Kenya, kuna makubaliano tulikubaliana na nyinyi kama wa Kenya, kama wa Kristo na kama watu wa Akorino. Ya kwanza, mliniambia ya kwamba mnataka tuwe na uchumi imara, tupunguze madeni na tuhakikishe ya kwamba nchi yetu isiingie kwenye hatari ya kukosa kulipa madeni yake. Mimi nasimama hapa mbele yenu ya kwamba hiyo kazi mlinipatia. Uchumi tumeidhibiti, inflation tumeleta chini, interest rates tumeleta chini, exchange rate tumeleta chini. Pesa zetu za kigeni zimeongezeka kutoka bilioni 5 sasa ni bilioni 14 ya Kimarekani. Muliniambia watoto wetu wote wa Kenya wapate nafasi ya kusoma. Pale tulikuwa na changamoto ya mambo ya watoto wetu. Hatukukuwa na walimu ya kutosha, hakukuwa na madarasa ya kutosha. Tulikuwa na shida na masomo ya watoto wetu wa university. Leo mbele ya Wakristo wetu wa Akorino na waambia wale walimu walikuwa chache, tumeajiri walimu 1,100 kwa miaka 3.
All right, we'll be giving you details of that later on. Now, chaos and violence mud burial ceremony in Ikolomani constituency after suspected goons reportedly linked to politicians stormed the event, leaving several people injured and vehicles damaged. The incident occurred during the burial of former Kakamega Polytechnic principal, that is Caroline Hamete, where one person was stabbed and rushed to hospital as mourners fled for safety. The funeral quickly descended into a political standoff involving Fernandez Baraza and Elsie Mohanda, forcing a temporary halt of the ceremony before the body was hurriedly buried amid tensions. The chaos erupted as calls for investigations into the deceased's death intensified, even as leaders trade blame, coming such a day after Kipchumba Murkomen warned politicians against using guns to disrupt public gatherings.
Vile nilikuwa hapa Jumamosi nikiongea, wenye mlikuwa hapa, nilitaja mtu ameua mtu kweli? Hapana. Nilitaja kweli? Hapana. Kwa nini watu wengine wanaanza kuharahara na kuongea? Sasa tutakutana koti. We shall meet in court. Ama namna gani? Na mimi niko tayari. Haya.
Kusema mambo ya guns. Na umefika hapa na guns 500. Kama umebeba rungu. Hiyo ni guns ambao umeletea nani hapa? Mimi nataka kuambia mama Elsie ya kwamba hauwezi kunitisha hapa Ikolomani.
Tomorrow in politics, Kenya Kwanza politician Farouk Kibet has lashed out at former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua accusing him of undermining the presidency following remarks he made during this week's funeral service of Ol Kalou Member of Parliament David Kiaraho, which was attended by President William Ruto, and of course that was last week. Farouk, who also flanked by other leaders including Likuyani Member of Parliament Innocent Mugabe, spoke during a church fundraiser in Mailine, Eldoret, where he condemned the remarks as divisive and a threat to national unity.
So mheshimiwa, watu wengine wamekuwa na kiburi mpaka wanaenda mbele ya rais kumkajeli, kumtusi, lakini nawaambia neno la Mungu inasema uchipende vile penda jirani yako vile unajipenda. Mimi ninaona ubaya sana kwamba viongozi wamewacha kuuza ajenda mzuri kwa Wakenya. Wameanza uongozi wa kuchochea Wakenya kati ya jamii kwa jamii. Athari ya hiyo maneno inaondolewa tu na jina la Yesu Kristo.
Now we shelve politics for a moment. A severe transport crisis is looming in Bisil, Kajiado County, as petrol prices skyrocket to about 450 shillings per litre, leaving motorists and boda operators stranded amidst allegations of widespread fuel hoarding. Irate residents accuse petrol station owners along the Namanga Highway of intentionally withholding stock to create an artificial shortage. While the tankers deliver supplies, the commodity remains absent from pumps, forcing desperate riders to buy expensive bottled fuel from roadside hawkers. Consequently, locals are urging the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to penalize traders for this dangerous and exploitative business practices.
Mafuta iko, lakini watu wataka kuuza. Anatoa kwa mashine anakuja kuuzia watu bei kali, kama lita moja inauzwa 450. Sisi anasema serikali hatujui mafuta inakaa aje, kwa sababu sisi hata tumeumia sana. Hata jana watu hajaenda nyumbani.
Kama watu wa pikipiki tunafanya kuumia kwa sababu mafuta iko eneo ya Bisil, lakini hawatuuzi mafuta. Wao wenyewe wanaenda kutoa mafuta kwa pump, wanakuja kutuuzia.
Enda pale uuzi mafuta. Sometimes wanafungua, wanafunga. Wanabidi hapo, hata ukienda kwa sasa hivi hata wanauza na mitungi hapo tu nje tu hapo petrol station. Hao wafanyakazi wake ndio wanauza pale. Hawatuuzi. Watu wa magari, watu wa matatu tunaumia sana.
A section of leaders from Nairobi County have strongly condemned the attack on Godfrey Osotsi by goons in Kisumu, terming it as a shameful act and calling for those responsible to face stern action. Speaking in Nairobi, nominated Senator Karen Nyamu said the era of leaders using goons is over and urged Kenyans to remain calm. She also called on politicians to tone down insults and show respect for the office of the president.
Munatuma goons waende wakapige Senator Osotsi. Hiyo ni siasa kweli? Sasa si hiyo ni criminal. Hiyo imetoka kwa siasa imeenda kwa criminal. Na lazima hao watu wakamatwe na wawekwe ndani na wa face the full force of the law. Ndio wengine ambao wako na mafikira kama hayo wakome kabisa. Hakuna mtu ako na monopoly ya violence. Hakuna mtu ako na monopoly ya goonism. Sisi wote hiyo kitu tunaweza. Hakuna mtu hawezi. Ukiona hatufanyi, usifikirie sisi ni wanyonge. Hata sisi tunaweza fanya. Lakini siasa ifanywe vilivyo, bila vita na kwa heshima. Tushindane kwa kimawazo.
Faith leaders are sounding the alarm over a rising wave of political intolerance in the country, warning that it could derail economic stability and undermine preparations for the 2027 general elections. Speaking in Juja, clerics drawn from Christian and Muslim communities cautioned that growing hostility, youth-fueled violence and divisive politics risk eroding public trust, weakening institutions and pushing the country into cycles of instability if not urgently addressed. The leaders, including Imam Rashid Salim and Bishop John Gishuri, also urged politicians to shift from confrontational rhetoric to issue-based campaigns, emphasizing that peace, accountability and inclusive dialogue will be key to safeguarding both national unity as well as economic progress ahead of the 2027 polls.
Nchi vile ilivyo, kuna watu ambao umaarufu wao wanaoupata ni wao kuhakikisha kwamba amani wamevuruga, na labda kwa kiasi fulani uongozi ambao wanautaka ni kuhakikisha kwamba wamevuruga amani ndipo waweze kufaidika kwa utovu wa amani kama ile. Lakini sisi tukiwa kama viongozi ambao Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala anatutarajia kwamba tutakuwa ni daraja ya kuweza kuwafikia Wakenya wote na kila mtu pale alipo, ili tuweze kusemezana katika kuweka amani.
Kenya and India are set to partner on a comprehensive free trade agreement that is aimed at boosting economic ties, improving market access and addressing trade imbalances. Now, speaking in Nairobi, Musalia Mudavadi said the talks follow high-level engagements earlier this year, including bilateral discussions with Narendra Modi, signaling a deepening of relations between the two countries. Mudavadi noted that the proposed agreement will build on Kenya's expanding trade network, with partners such as the European Union and the United Arab Emirates positioning Kenya as a key regional economic hub. Now, he either added that the deal is expected to unlock investment opportunities, enhance cooperation, and strengthen long-standing ties with India that is for both a mutual benefit of the nations.
Perhaps it's time that Kenya and India went a notch higher and discuss a free trade agreement. Because we've been cooperating, now we have conversations of a trade agreement with the European Union, a trade agreement with the CEPA with the United Arab Emirates. We are now talking of a bilateral trade agreement with the United States. We have the preferential trade agreement with China, with Africa under the FOCAC arrangement. And it is now time that we can have a conversation. In fact, it's long overdue to have a financial trade agreement with India.
We value the support and patronage of the government of Kenya to allow the Indian community, the Indian Kenyan community, to further its traditions and customs. And I must tell you that they are maintaining the Indian traditions and customs in a beautiful way.
And now to matters education. Hundreds of KCAC candidates from Bobasi gathered at Igare to receive vital guidance on university placements, technical training opportunities and new funding models during an interactive session that was organized by local professionals. The annual initiative brought together experts from COOPS, HELB as well as TVET to clarify application processes and career pathways for 500 eager students. Despite recent public concerns over placement operations, officials like Fidel Ochieng encouraged candidates to select courses wisely. Trainers emphasized that the technical skills in agriculture remain the backbone of the nation's future economic growth and individual success.
Sorry. And basically, it was just our CEO had approved the portal to be open for degree and TVET application. So we found it very necessary to sensitize students, especially at this time, because the portal is running, and we know there are so many questions, so many challenges about what is the process of application.
They have advised us about choosing our courses very well, and we have really learned, especially me, passing Bachelor of Education, Home Economics in KU, have gained a lot.
The economy of Kenya is built by TVET. The road constructions, the houses, the affordable housing happening now, and every other aspect of the Kenya's economy is anchored, even in agriculture, it is anchored in TVET, because these are the drivers of the economy.
Now, women in bandit-prone North Rift counties of Baringo, Laikipia, Turkana, Elgeyo Marakwet and West Pokot have been urged to take a frontline role, that is in advocating for peace and security in these regions. The call was made during a peace training conference for women, that is from areas affected by insecurity. Speaking at the conference, stakeholders, that is from the Ministry of Interior as well as Ministry of Gender, together with various organizations including Action Aid and Women from Baringo County, emphasized the need for full inclusion of women, noting that they are often the most affected whenever conflict arises.
We don't want to just look at women and children as people who just suffer and therefore just are silent in the conflict. We look at women as a very important and core aspect to the solutions for peace in these regions. So for instance, today we are with a team from Pokot and from Baringo. And these women of Baringo are here for us to then look at how do you localize women, peace and security? How do you make it reflect the realities and the context?
National government wakuje pale Baringo, watuangalilie pale, walete action plan yao pale na tujumuike wote, tutafute masuala ya amani ama tutakahaje ili tukae kwa amani katika Baringo County.
It is the women who suffer most when there's conflicts. So Action Aid, we have been working with these women to bring them in front. One, we are giving them a lot of trainings for them to understand conflict and conflict situations. They understand their situations where they are and their environment, but we also organize these women into structures that can be part and parcel of the conversation.
Konza Technopolis is now fully open and ready for both local and international investment. This is according to the Chief Executive Officer of the Konza Technopolis Development Authority, that is John Paul Okwiri. Okwiri outlined a series of transformative initiatives aimed at attracting investors, strengthening digital infrastructure and driving industrial expansion. Okwiri states that the Technopolis boasts world-class infrastructure, that is including a Tier 3 national data center, the only one of its kind in the region, and positioning Kenya as a leader in digital transformation. Konza has also secured licensing for the National Drone Corridor, enabling advanced drone operations and innovation. Meanwhile, the ongoing export processing zone is set to create about 10,000 jobs, focusing on manufacturing for export. And investors, as well as government institutions, are now being urged to tap into Konza's digital ecosystem to drive innovation and economic growth.
Been recognized as the 7th wonder of future cities. And this is because of the sustainability aspect of what Konza is living up to.
So that is to mean that baby there who is with a mother,
yes,
can actually live in a future 7th wonder.
Correct.
And Kenya is very lucky because also the mother is another wonder.
Yes, correct.
Kenya is doing extremely well. And you are the one driving that process. Correct. So why so? Why somebody will say, hey, are we just being favored or what? Just tell us why we want that.
No, it's not a favor, but then it speaks to doing the right thing and being at the right place at the right time.
Youth across the country are the most affected by the surging wave of political violence. Concerns are already growing that the actions of some political leaders are the ones that are driving the nation towards a dangerous state of anarchy. Now, speaking to the media this morning, that is in Mombasa, the human rights group said there is an urgent call for immediate intervention to restore calm as well as stability.
What we are seeing is not ordinary political competition. It is a dangerous descent into organized chaos, marked by escalating verbal abuse, physical attacks, intimidation, and systematic use of hired goons to silence dissent. In the last few days alone, this violence has resulted into gross human rights violations, including loss of lives and destruction of property worth millions. Kenyans across all political divide are being subjected to terror simply for holding differing political opinions. This is unacceptable.
it is no longer limited to rallies. It is in our streets, in our clubs, in our places of worship, and seemingly even in civic space meant to empower citizens. Yesterday, this same violence was extended to the Kokadi voter registration campaign, where innocent Kenyans had gathered peacefully to exercise their democratic right to register as voters. This is a direct attack on democracy itself.
Second-term election cycles in Kenya have often been marred by violence and bloodshed. Under Moi, the second-term election witnessed the Kayabombo and tribal clashes. Under Kibaki, we witnessed the 2007-2008 post-election violence, and under Uhuru, we witnessed the repeat elections and the tension filled with swearing-in episode at Uhuru Park.
And yes, you are experiencing the best of Story Yetu, or the finest of Story Yetu, right here on TV47. Now the TV47 at 1 edition takes a quick short break. We come back with more news, so don't you go anywhere.
Sikia, ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Yummy na flow kama maji, juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, usijali my bro, hebu kama nataka juicy juni.
Revisha ushinde. Open and save in your KCB Gold Savings account and win. Revisha ushinde. KCB, for people, for better.
Kama invite yangu haikufika on time, but I'm glad to be here anyway. She was my rival, my competitor.
We need to shut this business down.
Hii biashara ndo kila kitu kwenye hii familia. Nikufe ama nisikufe.
Kama mbaya. We ni mnoma sana.
One truth can break everything.
Sit tight.
And thank you for staying with us. This is TV47 at 1. We now get sporty, where host nation Kenya and Australia stamped the authority on day 1 of the 2026 FIFA Women's Series, with commanding victories to book a place in the final. Kenya thrilled home crowd with a 2-0 win over India, while Australia showcased their attacking prowess in a dominant 5-0 triumph against Malawi. With momentum firmly on their side, the two sides now set up a highly anticipated showdown on Wednesday as India and Malawi shift focus to the third place playoff. Kenya national under-17 women's team, the Rising Starlets, have intensified preparations ahead of their FIFA under-17 women's World Cup qualifier that is against Namibia in the afternoon. Now, the Rising Starlets will face Namibia in a two-legged tie, with the first leg scheduled for April 12th, away before the Kenya host return match on April 18th. Now, the fixtures represent a crucial stage in the qualifications pathway as the team targets progression to the next round. With the opening leg away from home, Kenya will look to manage the tie strategically across both matches before returning for the decisive second leg as they continue their push for a place at the global tournament.
We had a good preparation back at home in Kenya, and then now we also had a good reception at Namibia, and now we are waiting for the first match of this year against the team here, so we are hoping for the best.
Kenya beat Uganda, that beat us in last year's qualifier, and so we know exactly what we are up against. The Starlets have gone on to the World Cup. They were the first team to qualify, a Kenyan team to qualify for a World Cup. So we are aware of that. We did our analysis on the team. But I also know that last year, I think one or two of the players remained from that squad. So you're also rebuilding a new team. But facts remain that you are the favorites for this game and that we are punching above our weight. But we're looking forward to that because we love the underdog tag.
To a touch of rouge, Kenya Sevens head coach Kevin Wambua released a strong Shujaa squad for the opening leg of the HSBC World Rugby 7 Series World Championship 2026 set for April 17th to 19th in Hong Kong. The national side intensifies its push for a return to the top tier, fresh from a runners-up finish in the World Rugby 7's Challenger Series. Wambua has largely retained his trusted squad, with Cabras Sugar's Brian Tanga coming in as the only change to replace the injured Crescent Ojwang, now adding experience ahead of the doubting pool that includes Australia, New Zealand and the USA. Kenya must finish inside the top 8 of the 12 World Championship teams across Hong Kong, Valladolid, as well as Bidix to earn promotion back to HSBC 7's 1 for 27.
In terms of our preparations, we've had a very short turnaround. We came back into the country last week on Thursday and just gave the boys some time off to go and see their families. We've been away for almost 3 weeks. Easter, of course. So when they came back in camp on Monday, we really had to push them. So it's been tough, a tough couple of days for them. But we all know what's at stake here. We all decided as a team where we are going, we have to bring our A game. We have to raise our game to that level. And that's what we started doing in this week.
To finish top 8. And the top 8 will automatically have a qualification to 7th-1. And that's our main goal.
We are going back to where we belong. So guys, we believe in you. And we are sure that at least it will not be a discussion next year. We are going to perform as we're supposed to be performing.
All right, TV47 at 1 closes at this very point, but you can be sure that we are preparing more news to transmit to you later on at 7 as well as 9 p.m, including the massive programming that we have set lined up for you, even as we get to experience and give you that experience of a Story 8. Thank you so much for always keeping it right here. My name is Linda Alela. Do have yourself a lovely afternoon and a great week ahead. Bye-bye.